Hey Capricorn, welcome to your weekly forecast for January 27th through February 2nd. We're going to see what's happening in the week ahead with this lovely deck here. And then we're going to pull an oracle card for you all from this deck here. So without further ado, my dears, let's jump right on in and see what's happening for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising for the week ahead. Alrighty. One more shuffle. And let's get those cards. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, Cappies. So Monday, Tuesday, we have Eight of Pentacles. It kind of makes me chuckle because this card makes me think of Capricorn energy. I mean, obviously, it is a coins card or a Pentacles card. So, yeah, it is going to be associated with Earth energy simply because of the suit that it is in. But Eight of Pentacles or Eight of Coins is definitely a card that has to do with working really, really hard. And that is something that Capricorns do. Capricorns are hard workers. Capricorns can sometimes even be perfectionists. So when I see Eight of Pentacles, it tells me Monday and Tuesday you're really pouring yourself into something and you're really, really, really wanting to do well. Like whatever this thing is, you're putting your heart and soul into it and you're wanting to impress someone or satisfy someone or please someone with what you're doing. You're really kind of, just really wanting to deliver quality in some way. So when Eight of Pentacles comes up, it also comes in my readings anyway, with the message that you need to take breaks. You need to step away. You need to take a moment to allow yourself to rest, to allow yourself to kind of just recharge your battery, especially if you're focused on quality. If you're trying to deliver quality here with something you're putting out, quality is going to diminish if you're really exhausted and you keep pushing yourself. Oh, I messed up. I have to start over. Oh, that didn't happen the way I wanted to do. Oh, well, why is it all going wrong? You need to step away for a second. You need to rest. So I understand that you might be very focused and getting something done. And you may tell yourself that, you know what, until this is done, I can't step away. I can't do anything else. Like, this needs to get done and then I can focus on other stuff. But sometimes Eight of Pentacles says is like, look, if you want this to get done and if you want it to get done in the way that you want it to be, the level that you want it to be, you need to step away for a moment. You need to rest. You need to fuel yourself up and then come back to it. Your work will be much higher quality as a result. So keep this in mind, those of you Capricorns who might find yourself burning the candle at both ends here. Very, very important message. Eight of Pentacles also can have to do with an opportunity to learn something that's going to expand your gifts or your skill set. Some of you may be presented with an opportunity to take some kind of workshop or class or training. If that's the case, if you do find yourself early in the week hearing about something or being asked if you want to partake in some kind of a training, this is saying, hey, this is definitely worth your while to look into it. This is something that can pay off for you. Let's go ahead and check out your Wednesday, Thursday. So for Wednesday, Thursday, Capricorn, you all have the Hermit card coming up here. Now, these are major arcana cards, or the Hermit is a major arcana card. So when major arcana cards come up, it's not just going to be for a day or two. This is coming into a period of time. Major arcana cards show up when we're having this significant moment of awakening or crossroads, or something having to do with our spiritual development. So it's something where it's going to be, like I said, a period of time, a stage in our life. And so it's not just going to be for 1 or 2 days, even though it's coming up for your Wednesday, Thursday card. Some of you could be dealing with a Virgo because Hermit is associated with Virgo, or if you have Virgo in your chart, it could be something that like is kind of coming to the surface. But you all know I don't like to get too hung up on the astrology of the cards, simply because of the fact that it could be their moon sign, rising sign, their Venus. We don't always know all that when we meet someone or when someone comes into our life. And we can't always say, hey, you know, what city were you born in? What country were you born in? What time of day? What time was it when you were born? Like, it's like, why are you asking me all this? You know, and even if you say, oh, I'm trying to figure out your moon or your rising or whatever, your Venus or whatever, like some people are like, okay, like, you know, it's not always something you can bring up, right? So for that reason, I don't like to get too focused on that because it can throw us off. But you know, Hermit card is about awakening. It's about a spiritual teacher. Some of you are finding some kind of mentorship. Some of you are finding a spiritual teacher or someone that you're turning to for guidance. I feel that for some of you, this has to do with like learning how to be a better person. Like you're wanting to be a better person, and so you're seeking out counsel for this. This could be a life coach, it could be a therapist, it could be a counselor, it could be like an intuitive or spiritual teacher. And other ones of you are more just kind of going into that cocoon, like exploring yourself, discovering yourself, you know, getting very clear about your belief, just like, you know, tapping into that inner compass. But the Hermit card for me is always the caterpillar going into the cocoon, right? Like transforming into the butterfly. So a lot of you Capricorns are coming into a very transformative phase that is ultimately going to lead you to like soul, family, you know, purpose, connection, things of this nature. And some of you just maybe you're feeling like you want to spend some time alone, but you're not necessarily lonely. I will say this, Capricorn, those of you that you are coming into like a high level of spiritual connection, there's a reason why when people think of like a spiritual guru or some kind of, you know, yogi or some kind of spiritual teacher, they're kind of, you know, like stereotyped as like, you know, like living alone on a mountain, just like meditating all day and like, you know, living this life of solitude. It's not because you have to be that way to make a spiritual connection. But once you have a spiritual connection, you're going to find that it becomes more difficult to like be in a codependent situation or to be around people even sometimes. Like that time alone becomes so very precious, and you become just very much in this vibration or in this energy where you're feeling like you're needing that interaction less. So some of you Capricorns may be coming into that energy, and you might have people who are like, hey, you know, what's going on, Capricorn? You know, like, you know, let's get together, or I haven't heard from you. And you might just kind of feel like, well, you know, I'm enjoying my alone time. The thing with the Hermit card, it's not like you're sad. It's like you're choosing to spend time alone, and that time alone is feeling really good to you, feeling very satisfying for you. You know, some of you, it could be a relationship situation where you're wanting a little bit of distance from like a partner or a spouse, not breaking up with them, but like just wanting a little bit more time to yourself as well. But it's not like this emo thing, it's not like this depressed thing or lonely thing. And it's not something, I want to clarify this too about the Hermit, it's not something that's involuntary. Like when the Hermit comes up, the person is making the decision, just saying that, you know, like I just find it very peaceful to be spending more time with myself. So some of you may be coming into that element midweek. Okay, let's go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Capricorn, you all have King of Cups, okay? So King of Cups is abundance, okay? It can absolutely also indicate that whatever you're working on in the beginning of the week might be something that you're wrapping up by the end of the week, and that you are receiving praise for it, that it is going well for you, that it is something that's going to be profitable for you. King of Cups is also just like being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. In this instance, that's the feeling and the vibe that I'm getting around it. But more so than this, Capricorn, King of Cups can be seen as a very generous person, a very giving person, but the King of Cups is cautious to who they are giving to. The King of Cups is nobody's fool. Okay, so some of you, maybe that's where the hermit mode is coming in. Like, you're becoming a lot more wise about where you're putting your generosity, your time, your attentions, your affections. King of Cups energy for me is also very much like the father figure or the husband kind of energy. So some of you might be stepping into that energy, or some of you might be manifesting a husband or like a father kind of energy, if that's something that you're looking for. So either you're stepping into it or you're calling it in. You know, and some of you may be dealing with a water sign or collaborating with a water sign individual. Again, it could be sun, moon, or rising. But, you know, the King of Cups is definitely a card of something successful, something prosperous, something long-term. I even feel for some of you Capricorns, something is happening where whatever it is you're doing for work, like you had maybe lost your joy in it. It had become very routine, or just very kind of like, you know, like just same thing, repetitive. And I feel like some of you are reconnecting with whatever it is you do professionally, to where you're finding joy in it again. It could be like a rebirth of creativity for some of you even, okay? We're going to go ahead and pull a card here around your spirit message for the week here, your oracle card. All right. What message for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising? And guys, I encourage you to watch your Moon, Sun, and Rising sign videos. Some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. If you would like a private reading, you can absolutely click on the Calendly link in the description of the video and schedule a private reading there. So your spirit message for the week is release. Release, release, release. Now, typically when release comes up, I talk about spiritual, like emotional release. And although that might be an aspect for some of you, which I'll cover in just a moment, I'm feeling a different vibe overall, Capricorn, with the release card. I feel more than an emotional release. I heard the word surrender when I turned it over. So I feel that some of you are surrendering something that has really been eating away at you, or that you have been resentful of. And there's like this liberation that's coming in with it. Like, you're feeling lighter. You're feeling like you're not carrying this load anymore. And I feel for some of you, this is something that maybe you've been taking very personally, right? Maybe something in your life that you've deemed it hasn't been fair, or you've just kind of felt like, you know, left out in some way of a situation, or just feeling that in some way some situation hasn't been going as you had hoped, or some person is not behaving the way that you had hoped that they would behave. But I feel like you're surrendering that, like you're releasing that, and you're just saying, okay, you know what, this isn't about me. It has nothing to do with me. It's, you know, whoever the people are involved, that's their issue, that's their thing. It's not a reflection in any way of me. So I feel like you're surrendering, or you're releasing that situation from looking for it to validate you. And when this is happening, you're feeling this newfound confidence. You're feeling this, just this, it feels very refreshing. It feels very just relaxing, very invigorating, you know, like, wow, like you're very comforted once you're able to let go of that. For other ones of you, if, you know, where you might be having an emotional release, okay, and for many of you, like I said, the majority of you, I feel this is more of surrendering a situation that's been robbing you of your joy, and you're feeling that sense of freedom. But if you are having an emotional release, This is especially true, Capricorn, if you really struggle with the whole thing of, oh, well, you know, you need to release, you need to let that go, you need to clear your energy of that. And people always say, well, how do I do that? How do I release? How do I clear my energy of something? It's actually very simple. Simple, but it can be challenging. Simple in that all you have to do is write out the waves of emotion that are coming in. I got a lot of negativity from last week's Capricorn reading. I got a lot of love too, a lot of support. Thank you, my Cappies who have my back, who are loving, who are in that, you know, who weren't in that frustrated energy. And I know, Capricorn, I know you guys have had a rough spell. Believe me, I understand. And I know it's been going on for a long ass time. I get that. So some of you are having that emotional release, but now is the time of where the energies are shifting, things are getting better. You just have to release and clear what you've been through. And so how that's going to happen is letting yourself feel the emotion and letting it out. This means if you need to cry, you're going to cry. If you need to get angry, you're going to get angry. And you're going to let yourself have that emotion without feeling like you have to repress it or push it down or edit it or ignore it. You're just going to ride out that wave, okay? And as you let yourself feel those emotions, they're going to leave your body. That's how you're clearing. That's how you're getting rid of it. I do really recommend those of you where you're feeling that emotion and you are releasing, please make sure that you're doing something to cleanse your environment, maybe a few times a week or once a week at least, for however long you're feeling this way. So maybe you can sage or you can smudge your apartment or your home or your room or wherever with like incense or things like this. If you can't do incense or candles or things like that, you can use music. You can play uplifting music. You can open up the windows and let sunlight in. You can let fresh air in. You can cleanse and clear with crystals. There's lots of different ways that you can clear a space. So that's something that can be helpful for a lot of people as well as you're doing the release, so that you don't have the residual energy hanging around as you're releasing it. Okay, my dears? Those of you looking for more love and romance, you can click on the love readings for January. Capricorn, I also think those of you that you have not watched the angel messages yet, the channeled messages for January, that could be very helpful. Those are linked in the description. All the February videos will be up soon. The love videos, angel messages, those for February will be up soon, but so far January are up and they're linked in the description. If you find the weekly videos helpful, but you just wish you had something a little bit more on a daily basis, I invite you to check out the messages that I post every single day on Instagram and Facebook, Amethyst Angellight. I post a card of the day. I do a pick a card little game there, so you really get 2 cards a day technically from the social media. And lately, as like ideas have come to me, or I've thought of things that could be helpful in terms of like an exercise to release, or like a spiritual thing, or a meditation. Like the other day I posted something about inner child work. I don't always have time to make videos about a lot of these concepts, but if I have a little tip or a trick, or I think of something, I try to take the time and post about it. So I've been doing that on social media as well. So please take advantage of that if you would like to. I thank you all so very much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm wishing you a fabulous week, my darlings. Take care.